What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. Today, we're with one of my favorite lenders, Shane Satchell. He is with Movement Mortgage, and me and Shane, we are like a well-oiled machine. He works very well with my clients. He's always responsive, always there to help anybody, whether it's on the weekends or whatnot. So today, we're going to welcome Shane. Welcome,
Hello,
Shane.
hello. Hey, how's it going?
Good. Thank you for coming on today. So we brought Shane on because there is a special program in Connecticut for Connecticut residents, and Shane is one of the lenders that work with this program. And so today, I just want to have him on so he can talk about it. I've done a video about it in the past, but it's better that you hear it from the lender's mouth himself. And that program is Time to Own. I'm gonna let Shane like take the wheel a bit, but if you have seen my video before, Time to Own is basically a free down payment and closing cost assistance program. Again, we're gonna let Shane take the wheel, but Shane, can you tell us just a general overview of what Time to Own is?
Okay, so time to own is a forgivable lien that provides down payment assistance for first-time home buyers who live in Connecticut at least for the past 3 years. And when I say first-time home buyers, it means someone who hasn't owned a home within 3 years as well. So those are the two nuances for the classification of a first-time home buyer and a Connecticut residence as well. So Connecticut residence for 3 years, and you shouldn't have had a house in your name, whether title or bought within the last 3 years. That basically qualifies you as a first-time home buyer and also a Connecticut residence. That's actually all you need to qualify for the program. Now, there is income limits, but the limits are going to be based on where you're looking to purchase, in terms of the zip code and stuff like that. And also, the program comes in the form of like two things. So you get 25,000 for specific areas or 50,000 for specific areas. And then if your income is 80% of or is above 80% of the average income in that average median income in that market, you're only qualified for 80% of the loan. So if you got $25,000 per se, and your income is higher than 80% of the average median income in that area, we're only going to give you 80% of the 80% of that dollar amount. So you'll get $17,000. Now, if you're looking at the zip code that qualifies for 50K, we'll give you 80% of that if your income is above 80% of the average the median income in that neighborhood, essentially. So, um, it's a lien. A lot of people think it's a grant. It's a lien. Every year they forgive 10%. So the way it works is after 10 years, the whole thing is forgiven. What people also need to know is if you decide to refinance or sell the property within those 10 years, whatever balance remains will need to be paid back in the proceeds of the sale or refinance into a new loan. So I'm always telling people that as well. Now, this is a great program. I think it's a game changer. But if you have money, I always tell people like, hey, you know, it's better to use your own funds and to get into a property than to take on this lien because most people refinance their property within 3 to 4 years. With the low inventory that we're seeing, appreciation is something that's happening a lot faster at a higher rate than it's been in the past. And a lot of people think that trend is going to continue. So with these programs, they're great. If you don't have the down payment or the closing costs, I advise you to 100% use them because it's the difference between you getting into a house right now and you not getting into a house at all, in terms of down payment assistance. So that's really important. Also, there's zero interest, of course, on these loans. So they're forgiven off 10% every year, and you don't pay anything back because it's a zero interest loan and it's completely forgiven. So all that is important. And there's other down payment assistance programs out there as well, but this one right now, I personally think is one of the best ones to do because it's forgivable versus the other ones you might have to pay back, 1%, or you might have the first 5 years, kind of forgiven, but then you still owe the last 5 years where you have to pay back a certain amount of it. They all require basically you do certain specific activities to get the money forgiven. And we can go into those in another call, but today we're specifically talking about time to own. So I love this program, and the rates are pretty good. They're competitive. So anyone who has a credit score above a 620 qualifies. Anyone who doesn't have a credit score above 620, you just have to work to get into that benchmark. But the rate for someone who has a 620 versus a 700 is practically the same, and there's no fees. So you're not paying for the rate. You're basically getting the rate that goes with the program. And your credit score, as long as you're above 620, it's pretty much going to be the same rate as anyone else out there who qualifies for the program, essentially.
Right, right. And just to like kind of compact everything Shane just said, because he just threw out a bunch of information, but it's wonderful information. And once again, I brought him on here so you can hear from the lender's mouth. He's worked with Time to Own. It's been around, I think, since late last year.
Yeah,
And
June last year.
so almost a year. It's actually been over a year. And I
Yeah.
actually just recently found out way earlier this year. And when I found out we only had about 6 million left in the budget, there's been talks about them replenishing it, and they did, I believe, in April, and then they actually just added another 20 million, I think, a week ago.
Right.
So it's going to be around for a while because Connecticut wants homeowners. Connecticut wants people to be homeowners, and so they're trying to help you with this program. So just to compact everything Shane just said, once again, you have to be a first-time home buyer. So let's put in a little scenario here. So say there's a husband and wife. The husband is the only one on the deed or of the house, and the wife isn't. The wife still qualifies because she doesn't have a property under her name. If that makes sense, right, Shane?
Correct.
Right. So once again, if you bought a house, let's say 10 years ago, you sold it like 4 years ago. Those 4 years, you still qualify as a first-time home buyer because you cannot have a property in your name for the last 3 years. You have to be a resident of Connecticut for the last 3 years as well. Credit score over 620, and income limits depending on the area you're looking at. So
Correct.
just so let's throw out there, like, obviously, Connecticut has various ranges of houses. So like if you're looking at Madison, Connecticut, which is obviously a higher price point market, you're most likely not going to get the 50,000. So, but you can still qualify for a certain amount depending on how much you make with the income limit, if that makes sense, right, Shane?
Right. Right. So I would let me look at Madison because you brought that. That's an interesting point. There's a place that you can go on the website. You basically put in the address of the property that you're looking at, and it tells you if it's a high opportunity or very high opportunity zone. Those two zones will qualify you for 50K. So let me just see right here. That's on the map. So Madison, Connecticut. Let me just see if it's on there. So I don't see Madison as the. Oh, actually, yeah, Madison qualifies for the 50K. Yeah. So
So,
there's two zip codes in Madison that qualifies for the 50K.
alrighty. Well, hey, I'm
Yeah.
glad you proved me wrong because, like, I've heard some people who want the Time to Own and they're just like, okay, well, I can look at a higher price point market. Now, obviously, at the end of the day, Shane, you're going to be qualifying them and making sure those areas will either get you the 50K, 25K, whichever it is. But that's not really so much what it is. You just like you're not getting extra money on top of what you already have. If that makes sense. So, like, if you're looking in Fairfield and you want to qualify for Time to Own, you don't like you. I guess your budget doesn't extend X amount because you qualify for Time to Own. If that makes sense. So you like say your buying power is 300,000. With Time to Own, you can now go up to let's say like 390, 400. Because you have the 50,000, that doesn't mean you can go up to like 600,000 or whatnot. Time to Own, they're still giving you your down payment and your closing cost assistance, but you still have a limited buying power. So I kind of want to get that out the way as well, being like, okay, they're giving you down payment and closing costs, but doesn't mean like your buying power doubles, if that makes sense.
Right, right. It doesn't double, but it does actually go up a little bit
It does.
because
It does.
what happens is if you're getting 50K, and the house is, let's say 350,000, and initially you were only going to put down 3% or 5%, that 50K is going to cover closer to like 10% of your down payment, and then all of the rest of it will be closing costs. So technically you'll have a higher buying power because you can technically get the down payment to bring you to a point where your numbers work. Or you can just use the down payment to lower you can use the money to increase your down payment and lower your mortgage, you know. So there's a couple different ways to do this. Your buying power won't double by any stretch, but you can get an extra 10, 15, maybe even 20 to $30,000 in buying power just using this program because of you know, you're getting 50K essentially, which would cover more of your down payment or just put you in a different bracket, you know, altogether, and you just get more money to kind of bring you back to where you need to be in terms for the loan to work. So
Exactly what Shane said. And honestly, that extra 20, 30,000 is going to help a lot. I mean, a lot of the homes, like Shane said before, is low inventory and there's a lot of buyers. It's a seller's market. So if you can get an extra 20, 30,000 above the budget that you were looking for before, it will completely, absolutely help you. And like Shane said as well, like say your budget's 350, with time to own, you're now qualified for like 380. That does, at least you can still look at that 350 range and bid up to around like 380, if that makes sense. So that definitely helps you out for those that have been maybe losing offers around 350. You now have a little bit more money to bid up to get the home you want.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. And so that's mainly time to own. Again, I did do a video about this. It's very short and it's more like an informational. So I'm glad I brought Shane on here so he can tell you more of the specifics. And once again, everyone, if you want to talk to Shane or you're interested more about time to own, I'll put Shane's contact information on the screen and in the description. And you can reach out to him or you can reach out to me and I can connect you with Shane via email and or text. And we can get you hopefully qualified for time to own. And like Shane said, there is time to own. There's also other down payment assistance programs. Probably in another video, we can talk about the programs he offers for other first-time home buyers or just buyers in general. But once again, we want to thank Shane for coming on the my YouTube channel and talking to everybody. Once again, they just replenished $20 million in time to own. So it's going to be around for a minute. And I'm only going to say a minute because you never know how quick it will go. So definitely take advantage of this opportunity. Reach out with any questions you have. And once again, whether you qualify for time to own or any other program, just reach out, get your answers taken care of, and we can go from there. But it never hurts to talk to a lender and seeing what you can get with the programs Shane has. So again, thank you, Shane, so much for coming on my channel and informing people about time to own. It's a great program. And honestly, I wish like a lot of people, I wish we had it sooner, but it's the fact that we have it now. And so people should take advantage. So, and once again, if you want more information, I have a sheet about time to own and the zip codes that Shane was talking about. I can send that via email and a connecting email with Shane. And yeah, again, thank you, Shane, for coming on here and for providing value for not only the people on YouTube, but also my customers as well. And once again, guys, if you are interested in this program, take advantage, reach out to any one of us. Our contact information is down below. And yeah, if you like this video, make sure you hit the like button and make sure you subscribe so you're notified of when I post my next video. If you'd like to see more of Shane on my channel, make sure you definitely hit the like button. We love Shane, so we want to see more of him. So yeah, thank you again for coming on, and I hope to see you guys at my next video. And thank you again, Shane.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Thank you.